It is just so wonderful to see all of you again. Being here, the only way to describe it is it just makes my spirit soar. Having a chance to go down the hallway and see the seniors and I don't know that I've ever done that many high fives before in my life at one time, but that was absolutely, utterly amazing to experience. So again, for this opportunity, thank you, Mrs. Wieland and Mr. Neidiger. Truly, truly, we appreciate that. But today, I'm here because I have the honor and privilege of being to address you with obviously a heart filled with love for all of you in the Veritas family, but I'm also here to reflect upon my own similar experience, decades ago obviously, but where I too was engaged in a similar type of rite of passage into a world of becoming an upperclassman. And into that world, that means you now became a leader in your school. So that day, I too had the opportunity to have someone speak to me among the other students, just as I am speaking to you today. And I hope that in this moment, I'm able to provide even just a small fraction of the inspiration that I too had once received. So for the seniors, this ceremony might feel a little been there, done that, but still for you, and especially so for the juniors, today's an important moment in your high school career. Do you remember how, when I had you in class, we'd occasionally talk about what it would be like to one day be among the oldest students on campus? And what that would look like for you as you grew into the leaders that the underclassmen, the freshmen and the sophomores, and the middle schoolers would look up to? Well, today, juniors, today's that day. So much of what was shared with me back then, when I was sitting there in an auditorium just like this, I'm going to share with you today. And it was drawn upon the words of Henry H. Danforth, who was a very successful businessman in the early mid-20th century, and he spoke at length on many of the qualities of leadership. You see, now that you're upperclassmen, you bear a responsibility of leadership here on this campus. It is being honored by this ceremony and presented for the whole world to see in the form of the blazer, which now becomes part of your standard uniform, something that you will wear with a sense of pride and honor, but also, and even more importantly, as a display of your commitment to being a leader here on campus. So I want you to take a few minutes and just let me remind you what it is to be a leader, and moving forward, what that expectation is for each of you. So I'll open with a quote from Danforth. "I am on a voyage of discovery. I search for those of you who will go out with a great adventure. I am looking for you, one of the audacious few, who will face life courageously, ready to strike straight at the heart of anything that is keeping you from your best. You intrepid ones behind whom the world moves forward. To you, I'm going to unfold a secret power that but few know how to use, the secret power of daring and sharing, which carries tremendous responsibilities. Once you have it, you can never be the same again. Once it is yours, you can never rest until you have given it to others. And the more you give away, the greater becomes your capacity to give. Deep down in the very fiber of your being, you must light an urge that can never be put out. It will catch this side of your life, and then that side. It will widen your horizon. It will light up unknown reserves, and you'll discover new capacities for living and growing. It will become, if you don't look out, a mighty conflagration that will consume your every waking hour. And to its blazing glory, 1,000 other lives will come for light, warmth, and power." Danforth's words capture so beautifully what it means to lead, and now this responsibility is yours. So let's take a moment to reflect upon those words that I just read and distill from that what some of those qualities of leadership are and how, actually, whether or not many of them have already manifested within you. Know that you can be bigger than you are, but this challenge, this shift, requires courage. You'll need to face life courageously, applying that "I shall not fear" mindset that I've so often encouraged within you. You see, each of you have so many talents buried deep within. It's through courage that you'll be able to dig them up and dare to use these talents that you have, and through them embark on a voyage of discovery, an adventure where you live life to its fullest. Let this journey support you and let you be your best and set an example for the world to follow. Through this adventure, keeping in mind it's not necessarily an easy path to follow, you can find that you'll be able to live a richer and more plentiful life because you've learned to think bigger, act bigger, and be bigger. I'm going to quote H.G. Wells now, the great author. He stated, "Wealth, notoriety, place, and power are no measure of success whatsoever. The only true measure of success is the ratio between what we might have done and what we might have been on the one hand, and the thing we have made and the thing we have made of ourselves on the other." Just think about that for a moment. What might have been, what we have and have made. What's great about taking that initiative and going on all these adventures of life is that through this process, you'll now elevate your thoughts, your actions, discover what you're capable of using in terms of both the tools that you already have and those that you are going to now be able to develop. You'll be able to think of ways to do things rather than all the reasons why they can't be done. The fear will dissipate, and then you will learn to do things. So be willing to take that leap of faith. Make a habit of striving for great things. Let this habit then become a hunger. Let it be a hunger, because doesn't everything taste better when we're hungry? Be hungry. Take a journey, explore and experience, and through this doing, you will grow. Next, we need you to be strong. The world around you is ever changing in such a way that with each passing year, the things that we do here, the things that we teach you, the way to dialogue together, to share your thoughts and ideas, to be able to engage in conversation, discussion, or disagreement, yet still be able to, at the end of the day, maintain an admiration and mutual respect. This is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly difficult. You will be challenged, and we need you to be strong. The world will need you to be strong. We need you to continue to fall back on the foundations of virtue and goodwill that you've learned here, letting that be the shoreline you use to navigate with during those challenging moments. Hold on to the growth, the gains that you have made here, because even though at times the world will push hard against you, it is to these gains that you will be by holding fast, holding steady, and holding true. Again, be strong. We need you to think creatively. Use that creativity. We foster it here. During your time at Veritas, you spent years training the mind, learning, sharing, growing, evolving, thinking. We often talk about how the material or physical experiences are fleeting, and they are, because they're so limited in what they can provide in your life. But the mental ones, the ones by thought, those are the ones that bring about interest, lasting growth, and true change. Just because one day school, as in going to school, will end, you can't give this up. You can't give this approach up. This habit of thought, honed by this curriculum you're navigating through right now, it's the foundation upon which your very future and of others shall be built. The greatest rewards come for those who are willing to think hard, think often, and think creatively. Dream big and reach for the sky, but then also be able to bring that dream down to earth so you can scrutinize it, develop it, refine it, and then make it a reality, your reality. Step out of the box if and when you need to. And again, think creatively. Here's another quote from Danforth I need you to hear from me. Our most valuable possessions are those which can be shared without lessening, those which, when they are shared, multiply. Again, our most valuable possessions are those which can be shared without lessening, those which, when they are shared, multiply. While also our least valuable possessions, on the other hand, are those which, when divided, are diminished. So these successes that you've experienced, and you will continue to experience, carry with them an obligation to grow others behind you as they too strive to be successful. You cannot exist in such that you have so much to give, but you never give it, because that is not existing at all. Leading is not dragging others along behind you, but instead let them see how you, through your giving and your sharing, are encouraging them, persuading them to follow you as you lead others to their success. Through your own humility, inspire the underclassmen. You were there once too, so be thoughtful. Carry within you a servant's heart of giving. So encourage, teach, nurture, and cultivate virtue in those around you. It should never be a question of what can you get out of them, but instead always the question, what can I give them? Through the challenge to aspire nobly, adventure daringly, serve humbly, you can and you will be able to multiply those valuable things. Next, we need you to be of good character. As teachers, we often talk about how our goal isn't to teach you stuff, but instead to teach you how to think about stuff, with that baseline being an understanding that the pursuit of a virtuous life can lead to a life well lived. Avoid the shallow, foolish things. Do the right things and base your actions on courage, temperance, prudence, and justice. And always strive to maintain the balance between pursuing personal greatness and facilitating the greatness of others. Remember, the balance between your pursuit of personal greatness and facilitating the greatness of others. Find that mean. Doing so, elevate your thoughts and know the good. Be good and do good things. So the great challenge that we set forth for you today and for all the coming days of your life is to aim for something that is worthy of the best that is in you. Again, it must be worthy of the best that is in you. Danforth said, I dare you to think bigger, to act bigger, and to be bigger. I dare you to think creatively. I dare you to lead and inspire others. I dare you to build character. I dare you to share. And I promise you a richer and more exciting life if you do. I am showing you a world teeming with opportunity. The rewards for daring were never so rich or so plentiful. And with those words, I reflect back on my time sitting there just like you, hearing these words from Danforth and thinking, yes, I hear them, I feel them, and I will do everything I can to live them. So with this, I choose to leave for you today this simple request, that we continue to trust in one another. Just as I trust in you to take the words I've spoken today and the words that Danforth has shared with us, to take this day, to take this moment, and let this be your stepping stone, your transition to being leaders, not just in your classrooms and not just on this campus, but within each of you in the life that you will lead, and then through this, that you will lead others, all of you, to be able to live well. Thank you. Go well and stay well, Veritas. You are loved.